It's Monday. You know what that means. Each and every week we are live for the flagship podcast, the Flex Zone, that is. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Getting you through the dog days of summer and dog days of sports. But those days are coming to an end. The NFL preseason is underway and week 1 is upon us. Ravens, Commanders in action. We'll talk about it and preview it. We can continue our division previews and breakdowns of each team in the NFL. Last week we did the AFC and NFC West. This week we're going to the NFC North and down south to the AFC South. And of course, you know why you're here. Each year we do it. It's a new season. Quarterback, the most important position in all of sports. We're ranking our top 10. You already know we're going to embrace the debate, as no list will be the same. There was a big WWE premium live event this past weekend. We'll talk about it. SummerSlam. We'll get the thoughts from the panel. And where does WWE go from here as well? And of course, you know we get goofy with our resident goofster, Curvante, the voice of reason. You guys know the drill. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that bell. It's the hottest sports podcast in all the universe. The numbers are going up, and so are we. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it, when you need it. Episode 403 coming to you live right after this. Knocking out the competition harder than those good old folks down in Montgomery, Alabama. The Flex On Podcast. Only place fellas giving you sports how you want it,
when you need it.
Episode 403 through your airwaves and on your screens live on YouTube. Only place you should be right now. It's Monday. Keeping the midnight oil burning. Episode 403. NFC North, AFC South. SummerSlam Recap, Goofies of the Week, Preseason Week 1, what are we expecting, what do we care about, if we care at all, and of course, you see it in the description, you see it in the thumbnail, we are ranking those top 10 quarterbacks entering the 2023 season. If you're new here, or if you've been here before, you guys know, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell, the numbers are going up, you want to be part of the Flex Zone family. Big things coming. We're hitting the football season. A lot of content is going to be on this channel. As you guys see, over the past few weeks, we are working hard, and we ain't going to stop no time soon. The Flex Zone 1 on Twitter, Instagram, and the Flex Zone 1 at gmail.com. If you want to be a guest, ideas, part of the show, you can always start the party off right. Donate. Get those super chats in. We'll talk about them. We'll discuss them. Ask us any sports-related or non-sports-related questions as well. Well, you guys know the Cash App, the Flex Zone 1 as well. Can't do the show alone. God's favorite host. Throw up your ones and acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. The Flex Zone Podcast, as I said, episode 403, 400 episodes and beyond. Bad leadoff. It's my guy. It's my brother. He was here this past weekend for over 4 hours with us, even while at the family reunion. This man doesn't stop working. He makes the streams pristine. He is the social media producer. He is the man himself. We call him Big Raj, the Meat Man, so many other nicknames. Big Raj, what's up?
You know what? Daddy finished them over the weekend, especially with watching that ass whooping on Sunday. But either way, I'm here. Your boy is here in the building. You know, we ready for another show, ready for another wonderful, great, program. But you know, these numbers is going up. You know what I'm saying? So be a part of that. You know, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, man. We doing big things over here because that's what we do. We finish them, Daddy.
This next man is the voice of reason. He is the captain of the Goofy ship. And it's almost that time each and every Sunday and Monday. You'll hear this play.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Fonte, baby.
What, man?
Oh, gosh, something wrong here.
Goofy done spoke.
I love it.
Well, now that's goofy.
There it is.
Okay, there you go.
I
I
like
had to put it in there for you.
I think I got one more. We ready to get back at it. Football season is here. It is a month. It seemed like it seemed so far away, and then it just all of a sudden it started. And then here's the Hall of Fame game. Like, God damn, we're really back. So I'm really excited to get into the divisions. I'm excited to get into these quarterbacks. I'm just excited to be talking about football being full swing again. So let's start.
This next man is the Flex Zone Messiah, the head of the Flex Zone table, the tribal chief, the man who's all around the globe, Mr. International. He is a pride of the East Side savior, misbehavior, the super producer, Mr. Sonny's himself. He stood in the line to get that wonderful, delectable, mouth-watering, delicious, chicken, finger-licking good. My brother, my boy, the creator and curator, along with Cravante of the Flex Zone podcast, the A-lister, Mr. 25-8, Drizzy Drew, my brother.
Man, appreciate the wonderful introduction as always. My great team, and shout out to Uncle Rob Parker getting inducted into the National Association of Black Journalists Hall of Fame. It was a wonderful time being there, and ran into Mikel Ramos as well. So that's always family here on the Flex Zone. So
big congrats to Uncle Rob. Congrats, Mikel. Congrats, Uncle Rob. Even saw your girl, Roger. Kelsey was out there getting an award, I believe, as well, right, Dre?
I believe so. So, yes.
Episode 403, my brother. The marathon continues,
Okay,
guys.
fam.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. See you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Vote on the poll. Let us know your thoughts. But you know why we all came here. It's time for the main event. We're starting things off hot. Each year, we try to rank our top 10 quarterbacks entering the new NFL season. Can you guys believe it? The season is about 4 weeks away now. We're almost a month away from the opener, which will be the Detroit Lions going to see the Tribal Chief and the Kansas City Chiefs. And we'll be talking about the Lions as we're previewing the NFC North, as they seem to be the hot team, and AFC South, with one team seeming to be the favorite. But let's get to these quarterbacks. I want to preface this by saying this is clearly opinionated. We know how these lists go. I kind of want to go through everybody one by one. We'll start at 10, work our way to 1, and I'll just start it because at 10, I put Dak Prescott. And I think this is a proven year for Dak. He's a guy that is under a lot of scrutiny, but I think at the end of the day, he is still a top 10 quarterback. So I'm gonna start with the panel. I'm gonna throw different names, switch the order around. But like I said, at number 10, I put Dak. Raj, I'm gonna start with you first. And if you want to give your number 10, brother, and kind of give a reason why behind it, feel free.
Number 10 for me is Kirk Cousins. I thought he had a great year last year. Did very well. He always does pretty good in the regular season. But 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Justin Jefferson was a beast for him. He pretty much, and Dalvin Cook was a beast as well. I don't know why they got rid of him, but that's the name of the game. But Kirk Cousins has been consistent, has been playing in the regular season, has been playing well, and he deserves to be on my top 10.
Dre, you want to hop in there with your number 10?
Actually, it's funny. I got Kirk Cousins as number 10 as well. I thought about Dak Prescott at number 10, but I was like, no, Kirk Cousins belongs at number 10. He had a good year. He's been consistent from Washington to Minnesota. He puts up big numbers every year, even if he, isn't all that in, playoff or primetime games. At least during the regular season, he somehow gets it done. So he barely makes it, but number 10 is Kirk Cousins.
Cravante, who do you have at number 10? My guy, are you on the Kirk Cousins train as well? Or you got somebody else?
I am, but trust me, it's by default. It is by default. There are not 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 great quarterbacks. So once we start getting to the closer we get to 10, the more like default we get. Like, we got to pick somebody at the top 10 because it's and I think this is where I teeter on like the Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. But I'm gonna go with Kirk Cousins because he definitely had a better year by far last year, and I think he deserves, as Dre said, I think he deserves to be in the top 10 spot. As long as he keeps Justin Jefferson close to him, I think he'll be all right.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's funny because my number 9 is actually Kirk Cousins. I mean, I think he's pretty solid. I mean, having Justin Jefferson definitely helps. So it's funny that that's my number 9. Gravante, I'm gonna go back to you for number 9. You can lead off with this one.
I'm gonna go Deshaun Watson. Coming into the year, this big proven year for Deshaun Watson after all the wildness. I feel like we talked about him the whole pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just him in the news. So him being out for basically pretty much 2 seasons, and playing half the year. Well, not even half the year. He played 6 games or so. Well, no. He played about a little bit more.
It was about maybe 6 because
Yeah, he would miss like 10. So yeah.
How many games was he suspended for?
I think he was suspended for like 10.
I think like 10 for real.
Okay, so it was that he played. Okay, so which is not a big enough sample size, but I think this is a big proven year for him, and he got some nice weapons out there, and he arguably got the best, one of the best running backs in the league behind him. So I think the best friend of a quarterback is a running game. Nick Chubb is definitely going to be there for depth for Deshaun Watson. So I'm looking for him to overcome his previous years and be the top 10 quarterback. Well, shoot, we remember him as the top 5 quarterback, but I think he'll get into the top form.
Dre, you want to hit us with your number 9, my guy?
Number 9, I put Dak Prescott in there. I felt like Dak is a little better. Dak and Kurt are like basically the same quarterback to me, but Dak, I think, is just a little bit better. Maybe it's because he has the better brand behind him. But I mean, some way, somehow, Dak Prescott, he puts up. He's another one. He puts up big numbers. Granted, he's only had a couple of playoff wins, but I mean, we know how hard it is in the NFL just to make the playoffs. Now the Dallas Cowboys should have an easier road this year to make to at least try to make it deep within the playoffs, but we'll see, what happens. But Dak Prescott every year, like I said, he puts up really big numbers. He always has the Cowboys at least in playoff contention. So to me, he is a top 10 quarterback. So number 9 should be Dak.
Go ahead, Raj.
I got the same thing. I put Dak there. I mean, he's been consistent. I will give him that. He has been a really consistent quarterback. Last year, he had better stats. This year, he threw a couple more picks than he did last year, and he played lesser games. But I still think Dak Prescott will lead the Cowboys to the playoffs. Now, when they win a playoff game, every now and again they will. But Dak Prescott has been a top 10 quarterback. He's made CeeDee Lamb a lot better. And even though his running game has been up and down as of late, I still think he can lead that team to the promised land. But we shall see if he can, cut down the turnovers, and hopefully his defense doesn't let him down. They have a chance.
Go ahead with number 8. Raj, I'll start with you.
Number 8 is... Wait a minute. Number 8 is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is... I mean, this brother the year before was, I ain't gonna say he was terrible, but he was going through his rookie growing pains. But last year had a phenomenal year. The team was middle of the pack. The Jaguars were middle of the pack during last year, but somehow, some way, This brother, turned his game up against the Ravens, and ever since then, he was pretty much damn near unstoppable. And with getting Calvin Ridley on the squad coming into this year, I just think the sky's the limit for Trevor Lawrence. He has a big arm, can read the defense very well, and he has a plethora of weapons. So the Jaguars are going to be extremely tough to beat, and I think Trevor Lawrence is definitely a top 10 quarterback, and he's number 8 on my list.
I'll swing back to you, Dre, for number 8.
Number 8, I have Justin Herbert. Yeah, I feel like sometimes when, like how Cravante just said, overrated. Now, I'm not going to say he's an overrated quarterback, but I feel like the position that they give Justin Herbert is ranked too high to me sometimes, because we always put him as a top 5 quarterback when we're dismissing people like Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, who have playoff wins, MVPs, or MVP-like seasons. And that's not to say that this isn't a good quarterback, but I just need more out of Justin Herbert, especially out of the playoff berth that they had last year, and then seeing the emergence of another quarterback who I'll rank later. But I need more out of Justin Herbert before I can put him further up the list. So for right now, Justin Herbert to me is at number 8, and we'll see. Maybe things will change when they have a new head coach. But for right now, if they keep the same head coach and the same system, then that's not it. Justin Herbert to me needs what Trevor Lawrence has. You need a coach similar to that, who's going to be able to be an offensive guy, who's going to be able to kind of take you over the hump, because the Chargers have all the pieces, but they just don't have the guy to put them in position to be a leader of men.
Do you think Kellen Moore, Dre, as the new OC, helps out from Dallas, from the Cowboys?
I don't think it's really a matter of the OC. I just believe they just haven't had the right head coach. I think the Chargers haven't really had a really great head coach since
your boy Marty Schottenheimer.
Marty to me was the last guy.
Marty.
They got to the AFC Championship game with Marty, with our boy Flip
and LT. So
yeah, Cravante, yeah, my brother.
Number 8.
Hey, Miss Queen, shout out, love you too.
Hey, Queen, love you back.
Much love. I have Aaron Rodgers at number 8. I just think young guys are washing him down, man. Slowly washing Aaron Rodgers out. Aaron Rodgers past couple years, he had an MVP season a few years back, but
back to back, Cravante.
What'd you say?
He went back to back. Before last year, he won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But last year was not a great year, even statistically. I mean, he's always wanted to keep, the interceptions low, but I just think the expectations are so high for him. And I think it's like he's at the age where it's getting harder and harder for him to reach, as in like carrying the team. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for Aaron Rodgers to go to the New York Jets with all those weapons, and the Jets are a top 3 defense for real. And he has the opportunity to, submit. Well, I would submit because he's already a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. But he has the opportunity to, I guess, remind people of, who he is. Kind of like that year when Steph Curry didn't make the playoffs and the Warriors looked real bad. And the next year, Steph Curry and them went to the championship and won. It was like, did y'all forget? Maybe this could be, a resurgence of Rodgers, but I think the young boys are really.
Okay, we'll see. At number 8, real quick, I have Trevor Lawrence. I think he's ascending. I think he is going to be a guy that could be perennial top 5 if we do this list again next year. And Cravante, I got the camera on you because I'm gonna go to you for number 7 to start it off.
A guy that I think a couple of you put previously at number 8. I got Justin Herbert. I think this is one of the few guys in the league where you can completely let go and let the reins go, and more often than not, good things are going to happen. Now, he is a gunslinger, so with gunslingers come turnovers, and he is still young. But you want to talk about somebody who has crazy numbers? He has a 5,000-yard season, and he has, I believe he has his other couple seasons like around 4,000. By his 3 years, he's pretty damn close to 15,000 yards, and that's a crazy start. Young quarterback. I think as soon as they get rid of my coach, I think Justin Herbert will finally take the next step. But also to Kellen Moore, his new offensive coordinator, I think he's gonna throw that ball even more. Because if y'all remember what Kellen Moore was having Dak Prescott do, that's why Dak Prescott has all them damn turnovers. But that wasn't the right quarterback. With the Cowboys, the way for them to win, they got to be balanced. They can't have Dak Prescott throwing the ball 50 times. Now, Justin Herbert, on the other hand, yeah, he could throw it 40, 45, 50 times, and it'd be like, that was the game plan. Instead of like, if Dak Prescott throw it 50 times, he gonna throw 3 interceptions and the Dallas Cowboys are gonna lose. But Kellen Moore's gonna bring that to Justin Herbert. That he's gonna have an MVP-like season. Of course, stats. How well his team does is probably gonna depend on his head coach. Now, is he great enough to overcome his head coach like some of the all-time greats? That's yet to be determined. But Justin, with
Cravante went out. Let me go to Dre next while we get Cravante back. You done, Cravante? You went out a little bit.
Yo, am I back? I was just saying Justin Herbert is in the same group as all the other young quarterbacks who are taking the NFL by storm.
Go ahead, Dre. Number 7. You muted, my guy.
I'm sorry. I think that Trevor Lawrence at number 7 surpassed Justin Herbert with that playoff victory, especially coming from behind. I think that, like I was saying, that Trevor Lawrence has the coach, a Super Bowl winning head coach, an offensive-minded coach, a guy that's played the quarterback position, who understands the quarterback position. And you see what happens from year 1 to year 2, the progression. Because year 1, you saw, I wish Uncle Rod was up here, as they call him, Urban Liar. I mean, that was a dumpster fire right there from jump. But you saw in year 2 what happens when he had a better coach right there, Doug Peterson, somebody that's won a Super Bowl, somebody that's played the quarterback position, and you see that how Trevor Lawrence became such a better quarterback, and that's the Trevor Lawrence that we were used to from college, and we thought that he would be that when he got to the NFL, which happened. So I expect bigger things out of Trevor Lawrence, and I was tempted to actually put him at number 6 and instead of number 7, but we'll see how he does this year. I didn't want to jump the gun too much, as Cravante likes to say. So he's like slow down. Because sometimes I get ahead of myself now, but I think that Trevor Lawrence right there at number 7, perfect position for him, and I think he will get better. Eventually, I could see him being a top 5 quarterback. I know we keep talking about Justin Herbert, but Trevor Lawrence, or as I like to call him, as you say, Byron, Fabio, right there, man. I expect big things.
Raj, you want to give your last 2? I think you need.
Well, I got number 7.
Oh yeah, you can do number 7. You can start with number 6 as well.
Oh well, yeah. I did 6 and 7.
Well, we didn't do 6 yet, but you can start with number 6. Well, we did 7, but yeah, you didn't do 6 either. So yeah.
Okay, number 7 for me was Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, to me is prototypical strong arm quarterback. Has all the weapons in the world. He took his first jump last season and making the playoffs. Granted, he, started off pretty well in the playoffs, and then, the first half of the game, and then the last half, he, shitted the bed. But it is what it is. It's his first time in there. I think he's getting better every single year. His head coaching situation, it's not his fault that his head coaches have let him down.
It's an idiot.
But hopefully, I think he can make a jump. and he is on my top 10 list. So Justin Herbert will be here for years to come, and he will continue to get better.
And then your number 6.
My number 6 is Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Duck Dodgers did have a bad year last year. He wasn't really that good. But granted, he had a lot of young wide receivers that he wasn't really on the page with, and his situation just wasn't very good. Going into this season, I think Aaron Rodgers will get back to the MVP Aaron Rodgers that we know and love. He has a lot of great talent that's assembled in his favor. Garrett Wilson's going to help him do some great things in New York, and I just think that Aaron Rodgers is going to, light the town on fire. I mean, we haven't seen this much buzz with the New York Jets in I don't know how long, probably 20 years. So I think that Aaron Rodgers will get back to form, and I don't think he's going to fall off anytime soon.
Stay tuned, everybody, because next week we will be talking about Aaron Rodgers' new division, the AFC East. So a little tease there. Cravante, let's go back to you for number. What were we on 6, right?
Yep.
Number 6.
I got Trevor. I got Fabio, aka Sunshine, whatever the hell y'all want to call him. He's a hell of a football player. Right.
If I had long hair, I would just fling it like that.
The is like after he throws a touchdown, that's what he does, and it's like, why such luxurious hair? And he plays football. He plays the quarterback position so well. But I believe Dre, you said it. Once he got that guy at head coach, took off. I think that's the one thing that Justin Herbert is missing. But we already knew Trevor Lawrence came in the NFL as one of the highest ranking prospect ratings ever. Up there with Andrew Luck and John Elway. He had damn near, if not a perfect, I guess, depending on what scout you talk to, damn near a perfect prospect rating. And his rookie year, it was too much turmoil. That's too much to ask for a young man who you give the keys to you give him the keys to the Ferrari, and the clutch is messed up. That's Urban Meyer. Clutch was jacked up. You know what I'm saying? So it looked like a manual, but it was supposed to be automatic, but it felt like a manual. You know what I'm saying? And once Trevor Lawrence finally got a competent head coach, he takes off, goes to the playoffs, and has an amazing comeback. Probably not the best one for the season, but is one for the playoff books. He played like garbage, the first half, but like great quarterbacks do, short memory, turned it right around and led his team to a comeback victory. And he got his first victory as the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And hell, when's the last time the Jacksonville Jaguars had a victory? That was what, when Jalen Ramsey was on the team, and they had Blake Bortles.
Went to the AFC Championship game.
That era was long gone. And people didn't really believe in Blake Bortles, but Trevor Lawrence we knew at day one when he stepped on Clemson's campus, he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. And that's what he was, and that's what he is. And I think Jacksonville's future is very, very bright. Duval County is very, and Trevor Lawrence, like we've all said, he has the talent to be a perennial top five guy. And also, it helps that he's in a trash division too.
Dre, you want to give you a 6?
Number 6, I have Josh Allen. I think that sometimes I know we put Josh Allen as a top 5 quarterback, but I don't know. I think I need to see a little more. The Buffalo Bills last year were projected to be a Super Bowl winning team, and then they fell short. And sometimes it is on Josh Allen. Cravante was talking about a gunslinger. Josh Allen is like a gunslinger out there. Sometimes, you have your good moments and then you have your bad moments. But I think he fell off because he didn't have his offensive coordinator last year. The the guy that he's used to having, who was getting him in the right position. But now, you see the work that he's doing. His offensive coordinator now turned head coach. The work that he's doing right now with the New York Giants. So I think that just Josh Allen is still a really good quarterback because he and Cavante were right there. Was it the AFC Championship game or was it the divisional that we saw together, brother?
That was the divisional.
Divisional. Okay.
It felt like
but I mean that but that game against Patrick Mahomes, he showed that he's right up there with the best of the best quarterbacks. So just because I have him right now at number 6 doesn't mean that he's not a good quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback, but just need to see a little more this year and hope. Well, it's going to be a tougher road for him to climb out of, being that they have Aaron Rodgers right now in that division. You see when Tua is healthy with the Dolphins. So I'm curious to see what happens with the Bills this year, and then also the turmoil that they've had with Stephon Diggs.
Real quick, I didn't give my number 7, I believe. So after Trevor Lawrence, I have Lamar Jackson. This was truly just based off availability. But I think if Lamar is healthy, we do this list next year and he has a year I think he's going to have, he's probably in the top 5. Got to be available. Best ability is availability. And my number 6 was Justin Herbert, just because he just puts up numbers, man. Yes, he doesn't win the big games, but good God, I think he has the most passing yards in his first 3 years in NFL
Yeah,
history.
he does.
Even more than Mahomes. So let that sink in. Yes, kind of reminds me of Phillip Rivers, a former Charger quarterback. Puts up great numbers. Might not win all the time.
The sad part with the Chargers is they always have these quarterbacks. Dan Stout.
Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts, I'm sorry. Fouts, you've had Phillip Rivers. Like you said, you got Justin Herbert right there. So they've had quarterbacks, but they just never get over that hump. So maybe Justin Herbert can be that guy to, take him over the hump. And the guy's incredibly smart. That's another thing too. Like he was like a biology major or something with like a 4.0. Like he's beyond football wise. Just brilliant.
Trey,
mind.
you want to kick off the top 5 since you're on camera?
Yeah. Number 5, I got Aaron Rodgers. Like you said, Byron, you can't throw that out. Back-to-back seasons of being an MVP. I know he fell short in the playoffs, but back-to-back years. That NFC Championship game, I think it was against the Rams when or was it against Tampa Bay when
Tampa Bay. It was divisional round, I think.
Both of them. Both of them.
When he his head coach should have just let him get the ball, and we'll never know what could have happened if you would have just given Aaron Rodgers the football to give him a chance. For him to be an MVP back to back like that, and you just all the turmoil that went on with him in Green Bay, and he still put up numbers to make him an MVP. Yeah, he had an early exit round that we'd like to see, but the brother's still bad, and I'm curious to see what he does with the Jets. I'm projecting that he'll do better than what Brett Favre did, but Brett Favre did have a pretty good start to his Jets career. I think he was 8-3 when he started.
They went to the NFC Championship.
So they made it. They were doing good, and then Favre had the injury. So I expect something similar from Aaron Rodgers with the Jets this year to at least get into the playoffs. And we'll see how far he goes. But the AFC is going to be a lot tougher to climb out of than the NFC.
Go ahead, Raj. I'll get you up. We'll start with the top 5.
Number 5 for me is Jalen Hurts. I thought Jalen Hurts made a spectacular season last season. Going straight to the Super Bowl with the Eagles. He had a lot of help though. Great running game. 2 great wide receivers and a great tight end. I just thought he managed it very well, and then this puts him in my top 5. He probably would have been a little higher if he won a Super Bowl, but he had a great Super Bowl game as well. He just made a couple mistakes here and there, but I just think that this brother right now, is going to move all the way up. So, and this team right now is still a Super Bowl contending team, and until somebody knocks them off, to me, they're going back to the Super Bowl. So, Jalen Hurts is number 5 for me.
And I think the Eagles just added, Cravante, as you come up, Miles Jack and Zach Cunningham or somebody else. They added some more pieces like yesterday, like even more pieces, which is crazy. And they're in your division.
They so that hey, I'm not. You know what? They go ahead and be great. Go ahead and be great. I want my quarterback, who's in Southern California right now. But we're at number 5. Our kickoff top 5. I got Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen top 5. I was going back and forth between 5 and my number 4 person because each of them means so much to their team.
They cut off.
Yo.
Okay, there he is.
There you go.
He's back.
He's a good player. So, with that comes a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, a lot of hiccups, and a lot of boneheaded plays. Because he has the ball in his hands all the time. But he does make the Buffalo Bills go, especially with the lack of running game that they do have. So you realize how great of an offensive coordinator now turned head coach, like Dre said, he had, because my gosh, it was a drop off from last year. I mean, from 2 years ago to last year. And it was tough for him, I guess, to get his footing. But nonetheless, he is an elite level quarterback, and the Buffalo Bills are back on the map. And I hope they figure out this Stephon Diggs situation, because, when we got prima donna receivers or receivers that think they need a bigger role, it usually doesn't bode well for the team, for the offense, the team, the organization, or nothing like that. So for his sake, I hope he'll figure it on this. But Josh Allen is, I believe, still a top 5 quarterback, however you slice it.
My 5 was Aaron Rodgers. You guys know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers, my frenemy. But I still think he could have a Tom Brady-like season. I don't know if he's going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm really feeling like the Jets might not only make a playoff run, they might win that division. I think the Bills might take a step back. I think the Dolphins, I don't know. The Jalen Ramsey injury is kind of getting to me. We saw what happened with Tua. And then the Patriots are the Patriots. But I think the Jets, man, I know the schedule is tough, but if they can just make it through to maybe the first 6 to 8 games and hold their head above water and really pick it up and maybe add a Dalvin Cook or somebody, I think this is going to be a good team. Aaron Rodgers don't have to do that much, especially like you said, Cravante, a top 3 defense in the running game. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think Aaron Rodgers is still top 5. Rod, you want to go with number 4?
Number 4 for me is Lamar Jackson. I understand that he's been hurt the last couple seasons, but I think that this brother, anytime he's on the field, is a problem. And the Ravens have been in first place, I believe twice in a row, even before he got hurt. Well, when he got hurt, they were number 1 in the division 2 years in a row. And I just think if he can stay healthy, if he can play all 16 or 17 games, I think that the Ravens can go as far as they need to go. But I think Lamar Jackson is definitely a top 10, top 5 quarterback, hands up and down. And to be honest with you, he was doing a lot of this with, lesser weapons. So with having Odell, having Zay Flowers, and having hopefully a healthy Rashad Bateman and J.K. Dobbins going down the stretch, this brother can, be up to that potential and be better than most of these quarterbacks that are on this list. But we shall see. But I definitely got him in my top 4. He is number 4 for me, Lamar Jackson.
Go ahead, Drizzy Dre.
Number 4, I agree with Uncle Raj. I got Lamar Jackson right there at number 4. And it's something that you said earlier, Byron, when you said the best ability is availability. And if Lamar Jackson is just available, the sky's the limit. I mean, like Roger said, first place, 2 years in a row. And then one thing when we talk about the Ravens, yeah, we don't talk about offensive numbers because of the lack of the wide receiver position up until this year. But you see the drop in points. When the Ravens had Lamar Jackson, they were right up there, scoring damn near 25 points a game, and then that number just dipped. So we see the trajectory when Lamar Jackson's in there. That's why the Ravens are in every game, because when you have that guy right there, no matter, and Lamar Jackson's a dual quarterback where he can run and throw the football, so you don't know what you're going to be getting out of Lamar Jackson. The fact that now he has weapons, he already has an MVP with him, and he hadn't had one receiver except for that year, Hollywood Brown, with 1,000 receiving yards. He's been a lot of reliance upon Mark Andrews, so I got Lamar Jackson right there. This year, getting back to an MVP caliber year, and the past 2 years, excuse me, if he doesn't get hurt, I'm curious to see what the Baltimore Ravens do, because especially the COVID year, we were right there, and then injuries just plagued the whole team. You had last year you could see that if Lamar Jackson played against the Cincinnati Bengals, it might be the Ravens that year that go to the AFC Championship game, because we were right there. We just needed a few more points. So, and that's one quarterback where I know we talk about Joe Burrow a lot, but Lamar Jackson, whenever Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, division rival or not, when they square up, they at least going to split that series. So that's the guy that I want right there, a guy that I know who can defeat the Patrick Mahomes of the world and who can defeat the Joe Burrows of the world. So I'm gonna give my nod to Lamar Jackson at number 4.
Go ahead, Cravante.
I think that's almost, well, I wouldn't say a clean sweep because I don't know who Byron has, but I got Lamar Jackson number 4 too. And guys, we did not talk about this beforehand or anything. It just kind of happens that way. I think, matter of fact, I think our top 4 will all look pretty similar, maybe in a slightly different order, but it's going to look similar. But I agree with everything you guys said. Lamar Jackson is my 4th. My 4 at this point. Like I said before, when I was talking about Josh Allen, I think without Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens and the Bills, respectively, don't look. And it's a huge, huge drop off. With no disrespect to the backup quarterback, they're just not the QB1s, and it shows. Lamar Jackson is electric, boogie, oogie, oogie. You understand? And he has the Ravens when he's playing and he's healthy. And I just think every year, if he's healthy, if he plays at least 15 games, he's going to be in the MVP race. He's going to be in the MVP voting race, whatever. And the Ravens will have an opportunity to compete in the postseason and have a great chance to make the AFC championship, depending on how, matchups and all that go. But the Ravens will absolutely have an opportunity. They're either going to make it in as a wild card or the division winner, because we know how it goes with Cincinnati. But Lamar Jackson, when he's available, he has an MVP-like season, which means the Ravens will have a, 12, 13 win, type season, which probably is not, it may be enough division, but as far as ranking, to get old boy number 1, it may be kind of tough. But Lamar Jackson, with these weapons now, I know the expectations are high, but I want to pump the brakes a little bit. It's a lot of year ones going around, and y'all know how I feel about year ones. I don't feel great. Odell Beckham, year 1 Raven. Zay Flowers, year 1 to the organization and the league. And Todd Monken's year 1 offensive coordinator. So there's going to still be some growing pains. Yes, they've upgraded the wide receiver position. And, Lamar Jackson's looking better as far as throwing, but there are still going to be some growing pains. There's still going to be some ugly games, moving forward. But I do think the Ravens, more often than not, will win most of those games. And by Lamar Jackson. So Yeah, number 4.
I'm gonna come back to you, Cravante, for 3 in 1 second, but my number 4 is Josh Allen. I just think the Bills kind of hit a wall. When you can take away Stephon Diggs, the Bills don't run the damn ball. So if you can take away Stephon Diggs and don't let Josh Allen run around like he's Lamar Jackson because he runs very well, their offense gets very stagnant. And you saw that against Cincinnati. Stephon Diggs couldn't do anything. They couldn't run the ball. Josh Allen can't run around like young Big Ben. You kind of see, I'm not saying he's overrated, but I think we got to pump the brakes until he's done it in the playoffs. And I like Josh Allen, like his upside, but I think this is a big year for him because that division is tough. Like I said, I'm not telling you my pick yet, but I think they may take a step back. That's all I'm saying, especially with all the Stephon Diggs drama. I don't like drama before the season with your quarterback and number 1 receiver. But Cravante, I'll go back to you for number 3. I see you shaking your head.
I agree. I think that's why I think I was saying I think I don't like that prima donna receivers that want the ball more. That doesn't go well. That doesn't bode well for the offense or the team as a whole. And especially that's the number 1 guy. He all targets. But they figure it out. Number 3, I have Jalen Hurts. I have Jalen Hurts coming in number 3. He had a phenomenal year this year. And if he did not get hurt at that crucial moment, at the crucial time in the year, he could have been the MVP, the regular season MVP. And if it wasn't for a couple mistakes in the Super Bowl, he could have been the Super Bowl MVP. I think Jalen Hurts has made an incredible amount of progress from Alabama to Oklahoma to getting drafted to being thrust into the starting role and going through some growing pains. But now he looks like he's mastered the offense. He's mastered his place in the offense, and he's doing his job, and he's doing his job very well. He seems to be very poised. We know how crazy the city of Philadelphia can be. And Jalen Hurts seems to be really, really, really poised and ready to take on whatever Philadelphia has to offer. And going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes is not an easy feat. It is not an easy feat at all. And he was very close. Very, 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 very close. But with how the state of the NFC as a conference, he has a good chance of going back to the NFC Championship at the very least, which I think he'll probably see the San Francisco 49ers, but we'll get into that at a later date. But Jalen Hurts, I think he's here, and I think he's going to keep taking the next step. But again, his NFC schedule is not going to be, it's not going to be crazy. So I think that will help his case. But he's another one similar to Lamar Jackson. If he plays, he'll have the numbers, whether it be passing, touchdowns, rushing touchdown, yards in either direction. When you're a dual threat, just like Lamar Jackson, you put them numbers together and it looks amazing. And of course, with all that, he's winning on top of that. He's another MVP caliber quarterback.
Go ahead, Raj.
My number 3 pick is Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a great quarterback. I think he's top 3 in my opinion. Has he gotten it done in the postseason? He's got him. He had his ups and his downs. Last season he didn't do too well against Cincinnati, but it's neither here nor there. In the regular season, he's phenomenal. He's gotten better every year. He has probably one of the best wide receivers in the game is Stephon Diggs. And I just think that Josh Allen, for me, is a top 3 quarterback. So I'm picking him number 3. I think they still have – I think a lot of people think that Super Bowl window is closed. I still think it's open. I still think they have a great chance of getting to the Super Bowl. They just have to put it together. But Josh Allen is going to be the key, and I think he's the man. So, and he's on the Madden cover as well. So I know there's a Madden cover curse, but
that's not great.
He can overcome it. I think he can overcome it. He's top 3.
Go ahead, Trey.
No, Raj, it's over. You said the Madden curse. So, telling you now, throw the towel in.
I'm betting the under on that wins, by the way, Cravante. Just a little tease there. Betting the under.
Hey, look, when as soon as he said that he was on the Madden cover, I'm with you. Take the under right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Get him out
Like I
of here.
said, we'll be talking more extensively about that division next week, but I'm just looking at the numbers. I might take the under. But go ahead, Dre.
My number 3 is Jalen Hurts as well. I just figured the only reason I put him above Lamar Jackson is because he made it to the Super Bowl. But Lamar Jackson does have something that Jalen Hurts doesn't have, and that's MVP. So they're right there neck and neck. But I think that seeing the year that Jalen Hurts had, plus giving Lamar Jackson the money, the pieces, the offensive coordinator, I think these are all motivated factors to get him at this position for next year. So like Byron was saying, just and availability too. So those are all the things that factor in. But I mean, I can't take away from how bad Jalen Hurts is. That's a bad brother, man. I mean, we talk about trajectory with a quarterback. I mean, you know, from seeing the Eagles be a run first offense, and then you put the pieces in place. And I think the Baltimore Ravens, you know, saw some of this. It was like, okay, we need if we get if we get Lamar help, this is what could happen. Jalen Hurts right now, I mean, it's very much an argument whether it's just a 2-team race in the NFC between the Eagles and the 49ers. That's how bad Jalen Hurts is. But I mean, he's got the wide receiver help, and that squad is only just getting better. And like you said, Byron, they keep adding more pieces, and they're taking, you know, Philadelphia Eagles typically taking gambles on players, like when they got Carter right there in the draft. I mean, you know, a crucial piece that can get your organization over the top. And Mark brought up a good point when he said that Jalen Hurts outplayed Mahomes, and that's happened a lot when coming to the Super Bowl.
For sure.
A lot of the times,
the first half for sure.
A lot of the times, these quarterbacks have outplayed Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Jalen Hurts,
even Josh Allen in that epic game, 2 years ago, Dre, he was going back and forth with him.
So I know we call him the tribal chief.
Joe Burrow last year.
Joe was just literally like
if they didn't get that penalty, Bengals probably in the Super Bowl again.
So, you know, it literally is just it's just a matter of that. But I think the Eagles right there, man. And I mean, I believe I sent you guys the footage when I shout out to my boy Jamal. There's an Eagles bar. I didn't even know that, right here in Baltimore. And for the NFC Championship game, had a really good time hanging out with them. And I mean, you know, and of course, you know, our boy El Crawford, an Eagles fan. You know, fly Eagles fly. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But for them, they have to me, at least get back to the NFC Championship game, and we'll see from there. But the city of Philadelphia, you got your quarterback, and you have a good squad with a good head coach. But I'm curious to see what happens because they lost both their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. But I think that they can still make it to the NFC Championship game at least.
Real quick, I have Hurts at 3 as well because I have not seen a guy disrespected as much as a guy who went to the Super Bowl, outplayed Mahomes. If he didn't make that fumble, they probably win this game because he fumbled and they ran back a touchdown.
But remember, also from college, we've seen him, you know, the progression of him. So, I mean, he was disrespected in college, you know, and
the way he carries himself, the suits, the lock screen with him losing in the Super Bowl, just the motivation, the way he carries himself. He's the first one and last one out. He got his money. He does things the right way. He's a leader of men. He carries himself off the field like a CEO. This guy is only going to get better. They have the pieces around him, still adding to the team because his deal is very team friendly. And Howie Roseman, Dre, he likes to take gambles. He's going to get him whatever he needs. The division is very for the taking. The conference is for the taking. I really don't. If they don't get to the NFC Championship game, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
And shout out also, I know we're about to move to number 2, but shout out to him for having a black woman as his representative, as his agent. I forgot the young lady's name, but I do. I want to give that a shout out as well for keeping it within the culture.
Go ahead, Dre. You can start with number 2.
Also,
I gotta get her name.
But he has a team of black women. He has a black team, he has a black black women representing him as well. So
yeah, and like I said, I do apologize. I forgot
Nicole Lynn, Dre.
Nicole Lynn. But I mean, shout out to him for even having her, be his agent, and like you said, that team of women around him. So
go ahead, Dre. Number 2, you can start it off, brother.
Yeah, I can't with Mark, man. Number 2 to me is Joe Burrow. That's a guy right there who, like you said, if it wasn't for that penalty, man, I was just like, what are you doing, man? Because you guys are right there, and then just a boneheaded penalty. The Bengals bingling. That's what happened. Cost them because, I mean, in the previous matchups, Burrow be right there with Mahomes, and you talk about one half to another half. The Bengals, they'll start out slow, and then next thing you know, it's like 4 touchdowns and scored, and they up on the Chiefs, and you just like, how in the world they get ready to blow out the Chiefs? But Joe Burrow, I mean, that's a bad brother, and like I said, the only person I can think of that can even touch him is, and I'm just saying from a quarterback position. I'm not saying from a throwing position or anything like that. I'm saying from just a pure one-on-one, these quarterbacks match up. To me, has been honestly Lamar Jackson, because I haven't seen with Patrick Mahomes. He's outdueled Patrick Mahomes. You see what he did against Josh Allen in that playoff matchup that they had. So the Bengals, the Bengals are relevant solely because of Joe Burrow and the pieces that they then had to surround Joe Burrow with. Because remember, his first year, he tears his ACL, and then they have to. They're like, okay, we need to get him some help. So you see what happens. Like, I think he kind of laid out like a blueprint of, all right, if you give this this rookie pieces early and surround him offensively, the sky's the limit. And we've seen that because the Bengals have no position. The Bengals prior to him would not even sniff the playoffs. But I mean, these guys are talking about a Super Bowl every year just because of this bad brother with his cigars every year, man. You kind of want him to win just so that way you can see what kind of cigars that he gonna break out. But shout out to Joey Badass, because that's just a bad man.
Go ahead, Clemente. Number 2.
Joey Badass. I'll pick it up right there. Number 2 is for sure Joe Burrow, and he's number 2 because he's the only one that can chink. He can put a little chink in the Tribal Chiefs armor multiple times. Like, of 4 games, he's beaten him 3 times. Like, nobody has a winning record against Patrick Mahomes except for Macaulay Culkin, aka Joe Burrow, aka Joey Badass, aka what cigar am I going to smoke next when I beat y'all? And he said something very interesting. That's true, and I don't see it as arrogant or cocky or anything like that. He said, "Man, as long as I'm here, our window is always open. Okay, and ain't no window closed around here. As long as I can play this game of football and I can walk and I can throw, our window is forever open as long as I'm here." And that's real, because what were the Bengals before Joe Burrow got there? Laughing stock. And they go from laughing stock to Joe Burrow's second year to the Super Bowl. And along the road to that Super Bowl, he beat Patrick Mahomes. So, Joey bad, and he is just like I think Byron was carries himself just so cool, and he even killed and calm at all times. That's like Joe Burrow. They call him Joe Cool too, because he never looks flustered. He always looks like he's in control. And I look at him, and when he's playing Patrick Mahomes, I'm scared. That's the only quarterback legit that I'm scared for. Patrick. Anytime Patrick Mahomes plays against Joe Burrow, I'm like, damn, he might lose. Patrick Mahomes might lose this game, because Joe Burrow will walk up in the Arrowhead, beat him in Cincinnati, and it don't matter. It just don't matter. And I'm like, and he was an Aaron Donald reach for possibly winning that Super Bowl against the Rams. Let's not forget that. But I do think if they make it back, if Patrick Mahomes has to lose, I want it to be against him. That's how much that's how much respect I'm giving Joe Burrow.
Hey, and Cavante, real quick, like you said 3 out of 4 times. It would have been 4 out of 4 had it not been for a boneheaded penalty.
Yeah, man.
By the defense. That's why I said the Bengals bingling, man, because it was about to. We all saw. We was like, yeah, the Bengals about to go back, and then the penalty just happened. So I know Burrow's going to be extra motivated this year.
Go ahead, Rob.
No, he should be. But stay healthy. If he stays healthy, yeah, everybody know what it is, man.
I don't have nothing.
Burrow in every barrel, just like that.
I don't have nothing to add. Joe Burrow's number 2. He went to the Super Bowl the year before last. He's a great quarterback. He has a lot of great weapons. If he's healthy this year, they'll be in it as always. They'll find a way. I have nothing to add. I really don't. I didn't say.
Do you want to go to your number 1? Your other favorite quarterback?
I'll go straight to my number 1. I think it's everybody's number 1. If he's not number 1 on your list, then something is seriously wrong with you, and you don't need to be a football fan. But number 1, of course, is the tribal chief, Patrick Mahomes.
Let's acknowledge him.
He's one of the best in the game. He's 2 Super Bowl victories. Done it with Tyreek Hill, without Tyreek Hill. Juju Smith-Schuster on the team. One of the greatest tight ends, Travis Kelce, on the team. Always has a knack for making the plays, especially when he's getting chased by somebody. He finds a way to make the plays. He's throwing off his back foot, diving and throwing. They do trick plays and all this other type of stuff. Always being creative, always throwing behind his back, always throwing it underneath his legs. He does it all, man. He's one of the best in the league, and he's definitely number 1. Probably gonna be number 1 for years to come. How many AFC Championship games did they went to? 5 straight in a row, 6 in a row, or something like that.
All at home, by the way.
All of them.
So he's a bad brother. Word to the mother. So yeah, man. Tribal chief Patrick Mahomes is my number 1 quarterback this year, next year, the year after that, until somebody beats him.
I don't need to say nothing after that. Great soliloquy, brother. I don't know if y'all want to add something real quick before we move on.
No, I mean, everybody knew who number 1 was, so Roger just put that cherry on the top of it, man. He took it on.
Way to put a ribbon on that.
Patrick Mahomes, boy. I think this is when 2 greats collide. Big Red finally got his guy, and Patrick Mahomes got his coach. This is arguably one of the greatest combinations of quarterback and head coach that we have that we've seen. It's up there because we obviously know Tom Brady, Bill Belichick is probably number 1, but Big Red and Patrick Mahomes, my gosh, they are going to push the envelope to be number 1.
Hey, Cravante.
Yep.
There could be an argument made if Patrick Mahomes wins another Super Bowl. Andy Reid we may start wondering about Bill Belichick, especially if Bill Belichick has another down season. We may be questioning Andy Reid and Bill Belichick, who might be
questioning. What are we questioning?
Well, no, we here now. We here right now because
what are we
because Andy Reid.
Go ahead, Cravante, and I'll follow up and tell you why I said Raj. But go ahead, Cravante.
So I think we're there. We're there right now because Andy Reid. When was the last time he had a losing season? And he's done it with multiple quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not forget. Well, I know very well when he was with the Eagles, had to play him twice a year. How many times he was in the championship? But and he got over that.
I'm sorry, you're right.
He got over the hump. But but unfortunately he lost to Bill Belichick along the way. But Bill Belichick lost a great damn quarterback, and it's going to be hard to come away from that. But Andy Reid has been very, very consistent and always in the playoffs and always relevant. And now that he got his guy, he gonna stay on top pretty much until he retires, because Patrick Mahomes, he got his guy. Just like Bill Belichick had the best quarterback, now it's time Big Red got the best quarterback. Now let's see. Now run them Super Bowls up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Patrick Mahomes, he's been it since pretty much day one. He's been in the AFC. He's never done anything less than the AFC championship. Most of them being, what you said, all of them being at home, Byron?
Yep, all at home.
You can pencil in Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid for the AFC championship. I don't care. And we've listed a lot of great quarterbacks, great young quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes is still number one somehow, some way. And again, like Raj said, no Tyreek Hill, no problem. He had a bunch of young cats out there playing wide receiver this year, and took them boys to the Super Bowl, and had two very great play calls to two of those young wide receivers for touchdowns to solidify his second Super Bowl and third appearance in 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
5-6 years, something like that.
I mean, look, Karante basically summed up the point that I was just saying about Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. I mean, I was going to wait a year to see what happened between these two, but I mean that it's a fair question because of, like Karante saying, the multiple quarterbacks that he had. The only thing that Andy Reid didn't never have was the guy. Bill Belichick had the guy, and you see what Bill Belichick is without the guy. And we've seen Andy Reid without his quarterback. He's still been consistent. They still go to the playoffs, and they go to at least the conference championship game. Whoever he has playing quarterback, and it's just like Karante said, one now has the guy, one had the guy.
And looking at the all-time wins, Dre, Bill Belichick is third with 298, and fifth is Andy Reid with 247. This is just regular season, by the way.
And Andy Reid is coming. I mean, like he said, like Karante said, as long as Andy Reid doesn't retire, and I mean, honestly, Andy Reid could retire right now, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer as a head coach. But till Andy Reid retires and is ready to hang it up, they're gonna keep racking it up, or at least making it to the AFC Championship game. So, and Patrick Mahomes is young, y'all. Like, remember, he got his deal early, so they're not done at all. And you see the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, because it doesn't matter. We all was like, all right, they lost Tyreek Hill, and they still won the Super Bowl. That's just the wildest thing. So it doesn't matter. He's just one of those guys that no matter who you surround him with, he could have lesser talent like a younger Tom Brady, and he'll still be able to get it done. So
let us know your top 10 quarterbacks. Let us know. Go ahead. Come on, sir.
Patrick Mahomes right the first ballot Hall of Famer.
We'll keep that. We'll probably bookmark that topic probably for a year from now. See how that shakes out, depending on how this year plays out. But let's continue our previews of these divisions. Let's get to the NFC North. Seems like the Lions are the darlings of this division this year. Last year, real quick, the standings: Vikings 13-4, Lions 9-8, Packers 8-9, Bears were 3-14. Looking at the over unders real quick, if you care about that: Minnesota over 8.5, Chicago over 7.5, Green Bay 7.5, and Detroit 9.5. Dre, I'm gonna start with you. Are you buying a Lions hype, man? I know you.
Wait, the Bears 7.5?
Yeah, 7.5 right now.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Dre, are you buying the Lions? I know you love the what's his name? Dan Campbell hire.
Yeah, with the knee slapping and cap biting and all that.
Are they going to finally get it done this year? They look like they're the odds-on favorite too.
by default, I want to say yes, but I'm skeptical because when a team like this has expectations, they seem to fall short. The Vikings, when you're that close in games, them 1 point games. I mean, I forgot the team who had that the year before, but the Raiders, you see what happens when you have projections like that to win, and then you're in all those close games, and then you barely win them. I think the Vikings take a step back. The Packers, of course, they're going to go through some growing pains. Finally, like after all these years, I know we talk about sometimes Raven Nation being spoiled, but the Packer job is spoiled. 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back, and you've gotten at least 1 Super Bowl out of both of them. Um, they might finish last. Green Bay may finish last in their division. I think the Chicago Bears will be a little bit better, but I don't think that they'll be good enough to win the division. So by default, the Detroit Lions will be right there. That first game is going to tell me a lot. I don't think that they'll win this division blowing it away, but I'm just saying by default they seem to be like the best team. And then their quarterback Jared Goff. I mean, this is a guy who has been to a Super Bowl, and you talk about Trevor Lawrence in the second half of the season, but Jared Goff picked it up a lot too within that second half of the NFL regular season. So they'll be right there within the mix. I think that the Lions will be pretty. The Lions will be okay. I don't know. Some people like Louis Riddick, I'm hearing like NFC Championship game. I'm like, slow your roll, brother. Like I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid they gave you, man, but do not. I ain't drinking that, man. Apparently, it's got some gin in it or something because some Ray and nephew might be in there. I don't know, man, because I ain't with that, but as like I said, it's by default more so than anything, just because of the step backs within their own division.
Raj, I want to get your thoughts on the NFC North. Are you buying the Lions hype? Do you think the Vikings with Jordan Love and the Packers, or are you buying the Vikings again? Or do the Bears surprise some people? Justin Fields, they have him at 7.5. Seems like they may be a little bit better.
Honestly, I think this division is wide open. I don't really think there's a clear-cut favorite. I mean, you could say the Minnesota Vikings because they made the playoffs last year, and they still have Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, so they could be still number one. Or you could say the Detroit Lions from what they did like the last couple years, where every single year that they're getting better and better and better. And Jared Goff is, no slouch. He's been to a Super Bowl before, and has plenty of talent on his team. Green Bay, I mean, I understand that they're going through a rebuild, but Jordan Love could be that he could be that surprise quarterback in that division. I mean, he could be the next Aaron Rodgers. You never know because we have not seen him extensively as a starter, and just like in 2008, we never seen Aaron Rodgers as a starter either. But he led that Green Bay Packers team to I don't know. I think they went to the playoffs that year, his first year as a starter. So you never know. Chicago Bears is another squad with Justin Fields. I mean, they got a lot of talent over this year, a lot of talent, especially with the wide receivers. They got who they got?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore from Carolina, and they got the dude from the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claiborne. So I mean, this division is up for grabs, and I think anybody can get it. But if I have to pick a team, I think I'm gonna stick with Minnesota because they've been there and done that, and I think that the Detroit Lions can find a way to sneak in the playoffs, or damn near win it, or win a division, or be neck and neck with Minnesota. But I'm going to stick with I'm going to stick with the Vikings for now. But the Lions is right behind them. But like I said before, it would not surprise me if anybody else in this division steps up and wins it.
Real quick, don't forget that Jameson Williams is suspended for 6 games as well for the Lions. His first game back would actually be against the Ravens, ironically. So that could play into it. And they played the Chiefs week 1, like Dre said. So we'll see how good they are week 1. Because that defense still might be a little shaky on the back end. Gravante, how you feeling, brother?
So, yeah. Hey man, I'm good, man. The North. I think I agree with Raj. The North is wide open, but I think it's a 2-team race. I think the Packers will obviously take a step back, 2 steps back. Jordan Love's development. The Packers roster is still pretty good. It's just the question mark at quarterback. The Chicago Bears, I think they would take a step forward, but they were so many steps behind. I don't think it would really make a difference. I think 7.5 is a bit high. I don't think
Yeah, I
they
see
got
him at
8
like
wins in them.
7, maybe 7,
I,
maybe 7.
I would take the under. If it's still at 7.5, I would take the under because I don't think they got 8 wins in them. And I'm hearing a lot of good things from Justin Fields in training camp, but it's a lot of lip service. You can't believe everything you hear when in training camp. But the roster will be better, and I think Justin Fields will be better. But they win in 8 games. I don't think so. We will see improvement. Raj, Tremaine Edmonds is on the Bears as well from the Buffalo Bills linebacker. So much needed from defense after they lost Roquan Smith. So defense will be solidified, but Justin Fields has to take that next step. So now the top 2. Minnesota. I think Minnesota is. I think Minnesota's gonna take a step back. They were in so many one-score games. I feel like when it's that close, it could go one. It could sway one way or another, and it may sway the wrong way this upcoming year. I want to say they had 13 wins, but the crazy thing is, their 4 losses were all blowout. All 4 of their losses were blowouts, which is very, very. And by blowouts, I mean double digits. They lost by double digits. Cause y'all remember that Cowboys loss. Y'all remember that Eagles loss. They lost to the Lions. You know what I'm saying? They lost to another team. They lost by double digits, but that's very concerning. Moving forward, and I do think they take a step back, which leaves the door wide open for the Lions. Now, Byron, like you were saying, defense shaky. The Lions could put up points with anybody. That's what the Lions showed me last year, is that they could put up points with anybody. But defensively, shaky. Jared Goff looks like he has a resurgence for his career. Move in the next chapter, his post Rams career. And he's looking like, okay, this was the number one. He was number 1 overall pick, because Carson Wentz was number 2, right? Yeah. So he was overall pick, and it's do what Matthew Stafford was doing, and be that consistent guy at least at the quarterback position. Their offensive line, nobody's talking about it. Offensive line, top 5 offensive line. Byron, Penei Sewell is at right tackle now, and I believe they have Decker at left tackle, which is amazing. They probably have the best tackle duo in the league, which is a testament to their offense. Great offensive line typically means great offense. Defense is the only thing we're concerned about. If they get better on the defensive side of the ball, I feel more comfortable saying that the Lions will win the division. But it won't be by a lot. I think it's going to be neck and neck between them and the Vikings. But I want to give the edge to the Lions.
Just think if they drafted Christian Gonzalez, Cravante, they passed on a couple good players too, did the Lions. So interesting. Could have helped out the defense right there. But we'll see how the North plays out. We'll give our official predictions in a few weeks. Just wanted to kind of shed light on the North. Let's get to the AFC South, because I think the AFC South is one of those divisions where we kind of all agree it's one team. The rest of the teams seem to be rebuilding. Real quick, last season, the AFC South We had the Jaguars win the division. They were 9-8. Tennessee Titans 7-10. Indianapolis Colts 4-12. Houston Texans 3-13. Both of those teams were picking in the top 5 of the draft. Were the Titans and the Colts. Let's look at the win totals. Jacksonville 9.5. We have Tennessee 7.5. We have Indy 6.5, and Houston 6.5. Kavante, I'm gonna start with you, brother. How you feeling about the AFC South? Is it really just one team? Because I really don't see much competition. I see 3 teams in rebuild mode.
So I think there's 2 teams in rebuild mode and 1 team that is in denial of a rebuild mode. And that's the Tennessee Titans. I don't know what they think DeAndre Hopkins is going to do for them. If we're talking about fully healthy 3 years ago, DeAndre Hopkins, and maybe not Ryan Tannehill, this team is very formidable. I mean, they were the number 1 seed a few years back. I believe they had AJ Brown on that team. DeAndre Hopkins is definitely on the same caliber of AJ Brown. So at that time, I think would have been a great to see. But now DeAndre Hopkins is in. Derrick Henry has more tread on his tires. Ryan Tannehill is still the quarterback. Will Levis, will he play? He's probably going to play this year at some point. But it's too many question marks for Tennessee. And they just paid DeAndre Hopkins all this money for what? For what? I don't know if they got all this faith in Will Levis, but I don't see it. The Colts are going to have some growing pains. The Texans, I think the Texans are going to be a fun team to watch. I don't think they're going to be great or good. They're just going to be a fun team to watch because I think they're going to be more competitive this year, especially with Coach D'Amico Ryans over there.
D'Amico Ryans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's going to bolster that defense big time. And they got my guy CJ Stroud over there. I think the Texans are going to be a fun team to watch. Fighting for 3rd place, but they're going to be a fun team to watch. Now, I think this is Jacksonville Jaguars division to lose. And if they lose it, something catastrophic happened. Because there's no reason that this should happen. Usually the first 2 things we talk about is the head coach, quarterback. I think by far they have the best head coach quarterback combo, which typically means the best opportunity to win a division. But I don't even think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be close at all.
Go ahead, Ryan. Just get you in real quick. AFC South.
I don't got much for this one. I think Jacksonville is the default team. Tennessee, they do have pieces. They still got Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, but they seem to come up short a lot. Tannehill's always hurt. Derrick Henry is getting older, and DeAndre Hopkins, who they just picked up, is an old guy as well. So I don't have too much faith in them. Houston Texans are going to be a lot better, but CJ Stroud is going to have growing pains, so they'll still be at the bottom. They'll still be fighting probably for 3rd or 4th. Indianapolis Colts, same situation with them. They have a rookie quarterback as well, and they probably be fighting for 4th or 3rd as well. So Jacksonville, by default, I think they'll probably win the division. They have the best team right now. Trevor Lawrence is finally finding his footing, and he is getting more weapons as we speak, and they just have a better squad at the moment. So there's probably won't be too much competition in this division.
Go ahead, Dre.
I think that my brothers they did a real good job breaking down this division. Like you said, Byron, Jacksonville right there. By default, they'll probably win this division. The Colts, Like you said, they're in a total rebuild right there. Houston, that's a lot. 6 wins. I don't think they go sniff 6 wins. I'll be surprised. Um, but they'll be better than what they were in years past. And the Tennessee Titans, they that's a team that's got a good head coach, but the quarterback position is just in questionable. And they try to keep. They reminded me of the Baltimore Ravens getting these like veterans in there at the wide receiver position, but it's just not panning out with Julio. And right now with D Hop, and clearly D Hop only went there for the money because, I mean, if you had the Chiefs looking at you, the Baltimore Ravens in the mix, the Bills, and you didn't I would have even been okay with him taking the Patriots, but not the Titans. My gosh, man, you don't want a chip at all. You want that Carmelo stuff. You just want the bread. So, I mean, right now, the Titans. I mean, outside of Derrick Henry, the Titans didn't have too much. So, well, defensive wise, yeah, they were good, but I mean, offensively, all they had was it was just ground and pound type of game. So until they could get over that, the Titans are going to be the Titans. It's going to be the Jaguars division for a while right now. It's going to be like when Andrew Luck was running the Colts, and it was just like Andrew Luck's division is Trevor Lawrence's division.
Well, guys, the preseason is here. Week 1 of the preseason is this week. Ravens have the Eagles. I'll just read down the games real quick. We got Houston at New England, Minnesota at Seattle. That's Thursday. Green Bay at Cincinnati, New York at Detroit, Atlanta, Miami, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Washington, Cleveland, Cleveland, Denver, Arizona, Indy, Buffalo, Tennessee, Chicago, New York, Carolina, Jacksonville, Dallas, Philly, Baltimore, as we mentioned, LA Chargers, LA Rams, Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, San Francisco 49ers, Las Vegas Raiders. Anything y'all looking forward to in the first week of preseason?
Yeah, I'll say this real quickly. I think that one thing I'm looking forward to is they're saying that Sean Payton is going to play his starters. Most NFL teams aren't playing their starters, so I'm curious to see what the Broncos are going to look like, even if it's just for a couple of snaps. And the same thing with the Carolina Panthers. They're going to play their starters, Bryce Young. So I'm curious to see how those two teams do. Getting some early reps. Not trying to get their teams hurt, but just to see how they fare and they build some early chemistry. Because most teams struggle offensively. That first month is just an offensive struggle. The defenses, start off really good, and then they wear on during the season. While the offenses start off bad, but then they progressively get better during the season. So I'm curious how those two teams fare out, especially as we head towards from week 1 of preseason to week 1 of the regular season.
I just want to see the Ravens, man. I just want to see what this offense looks like. I understand Lamar and them is not going to play, but I just want to see what it looks like. I want to see what the difference is. I want to see, because they've been getting beat like crazy in practice. The offense has. So let's just see what that offensive line looks like, even if it's backup.
Probably they had a good day today.
Whatever previously, that scared me. 4 interceptions. I was like, ooh.
Whatever that means. Because half of this I don't even care about. Next week when they have the Commanders up here, that's what I care about.
And also, I want to see the Colts quarterback. I want to see how good he looks, because he was supposed to be the candidate that was going to come here, Anthony Richardson. I want to see how he plays. I want to see C.J. Stroud. I want to see Bryce Young. I want to see these guys. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is pretty much the young guys in this Ravens offense.
Cavante, Commanders, anybody you're looking forward to seeing? Anything?
Well, number one, I'm looking forward to seeing all the rookies. That's all the young wide receivers. I'm hearing Jackson Smith and Jigma is killing it in Seattle. Bijan Robinson in Atlanta, killing it. I'm hearing Zay Flowers is killing it.
Yes.
And my guy for the Commanders, Emmanuel Forbes, is staking his claim.
What I tell you, Cavante, I told you gonna love that pick.
Not for sure. And he may start on the outside. Is the crazier thing that I'm hearing, but very, very competitive. He goes up against Terry McLaurin a lot in practice, and Terry McLaurin was like, "Yo, he's a good one, guys. And so they battling back and forth. And I don't know if y'all heard, Terry McLaurin's a top 10 receiver with much needed respect given. And Emmanuel Forbes is staking his claim in our defensive backfield. But yes, of course, I'm looking forward to seeing the Commanders. I'm looking forward to see Sam Howell because I haven't seen any meaningful football from him since the Cowboys game, and it wasn't that meaningful, but it was like, that's the Cowboys. So anytime we have an opportunity to stick it to the Cowboys, we're going to do it. And Sam Howell did not look bad at all. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and our offense as a whole. As y'all know, I say every year, our offensive line is my concern because offensive line is not good. Typically, your offense not good. Nor is your team. Nor is your team probably not good either. But I'm ready to see, and maybe this is more of like a week 1 regular season thing as opposed to preseason. But I want to see what EB got to offer for the offensive side of the ball. I'm really excited to see that. But preseason, I just want to see the young guys. Definitely all the young guys put in some work.
I'll be doing a preview. Back to that. Weekly previews of Ravens games. You'll have a preview this week on this preseason game. Key to the game, stay healthy. That's all I care about. I don't give a damn about anything else. And I think the Ravens have won like 30 straight preseason games or something. I don't know. But anyway, stay healthy. I don't give a damn about nothing else. I'll be watching. We'll be talking about it next week. And the Commanders do come up here to Baltimore next week as well for some practice. So we'll get some one-on-one reps with a real team. Dre, you wanted to touch on SummerSlam real quick while you got the floor before we get to Goofies?
Oh, just real quick. I thought, I had to rewatch some of SummerSlam, but I think that WWE actually did a really good job following up, their big pay-per-view from WrestleMania. Now this is the biggest pay-per-view of the summer as we progress into the end of the year, and Survivor Series, Tribal Chief, him winning. Shout out to Io Sky. I mean, I hated that it was that she got it over Bianca Belair, but like Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair slowly climbing up in that conversation for title wins. So it was great to see that Bianca did win that triple threat match. There was the Seth and Finn Balor match. I mean, Drew McIntyre and of course Gunther. Another, him and Roman Reigns. As they, we're curious now about the streak and who's going to beat these two gentlemen. So I think that. I hated that Logan Paul won. The way that he did, but hopefully that can be another rematch going forward with Logan Paul and Ricochet. So I think that they did a good job this year. The overall card for with SummerSlam, I didn't mind it.
Raj, you got any thoughts real quick? Or
and check out the live stream, everybody. That
we can go straight to Goofies, man. I got no thoughts for SummerSlam. If you want my thoughts, go to the SummerSlam stream, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and keep it moving. I got no thoughts.
I agree with Raj. Make sure y'all check out that live stream that we did.
Yes, we were all live. Raj was at the family reunion. Dre popped in. Appreciate you guys for this weekend. It was a fun time. Cravante, you ready to get goofy, my guy?
Let's do it.
My guy.
Let's do it.
Oh, gosh. Something wrong here.
Yes. There is a lot of things that is quote unquote going a bit crazy, a bit wild in this here world, country, however you want to put it. But before I jump right into it, you guys know. Oh, first of all, welcome to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me the world what I thought was goofy this week. For the sake of time and my connection has been acting weird, I'm gonna try to keep it a little on the shorter end. But real quick, I have a high level goofy and I have a low level goofy. The low level goofy is Packer Green, and it's the low level goofy. It's we usually laugh, we ha, we kiki, and we leave it there in the hopes that it does not become a higher level goofy, which is Cardinal Center Red. And did we talk about them already? Because we did talk about them already in our division. They're gonna be pretty bad this year. and the Hollow Goofy is also pretty bad. We usually got to talk about this. We got to figure out what's going on. We have to figure out how to make things better, how to get things into a better place. And speaking of better place, something crazy happened a couple days ago, and I want to say in a very historical place in our country, in Montgomery, Alabama. Usually from time to time, I like to have fun and get away from sports when it comes to something goofy going on in the world or the country. And my gosh, I want to say it was August 5th, where they had what they call it, Byron? Is it the fade in the water, or is it the or is it the gosh, I had a bunch of names of it. Cinco de Negro.
The Boston Tea Party for Black people.
The Boston Black Tea Party.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, what's going on? And is, if you've been under a rock, there was a brawl, in Montgomery, Alabama, on what they call the river walk, and it got real racial. How do I say real racial? To say the absolute least. And Byron, if you could check, it was called the River Walk, right? The place where
I
it
believe
happened.
so. I believe so. Yeah, I'll double check, but I believe so.
Okay. Like I said, it got real racial. Apparently, a black brother, security guard, asked some Caucasian brothers to move their boat because another boat was coming in, and they refused. And I think the brother took it upon himself to go ahead, just slightly move it, just a little bit. Caucasian brothers got out their I almost said their vehicle, got out their boat, and they wanted problems. They wanted smoke with the black with the black security guard. And it was about, it was about three of them, three, four. I don't know. I think eventually it ended up being a whole lot of people, but I think it was only like three white folks, three white gentlemen. I think I saw a Caucasian woman, but they jumped them. They jumped on it. It started 1-on-1, and then it quickly turned into 3-on-1. And all of a sudden, for all those that are familiar with Marvel, we all know the part where the Avengers came out of their portals and began, when it looked just, we see all the Marvel characters come through the portal like, yo, it's go time. That's how these black brothers came out of nowhere. We had one guy that was in the river looking like the Black Aquaman, coming to the rescue. We seen guys coming down the ramp, coming to his aid, and that's what they did. They aided, they helped, got the guys up off him, and then they started going to work. And it literally looked like brothers came from every direction possible to help this brother that was in dire need of assistance. And not only did they help, they started going bananas, crazy on the Caucasian brothers, and even a couple Caucasian sisters. They got work too. It got real ugly. And I'm sure you brothers, Dre, Raj, Byron, you guys can appreciate this. I felt a little WWE in it. My brother picked up a chair. A brother picked up a chair, and started wow. Everybody that was in range of him, wow. And I was like, whoa, where did the chair come from? Because usually in a match, we because we know where the tables are, we know where the chairs are, but this chair came out of nowhere. And also real quick, I don't want this to go without I screenshotted something because I wanted to make sure I get the brother's name right. Nathaniel Alexander. Nathaniel Alexander was actually the inventor of the folding chair. A brother. And it isn't that fitting that it was a brother, foreseeing helping another brother in a situation of need. My heavens. It was crazy. And for the past couple days, the internet, Joe Biden's and Beyonce's internet has been on fire right now with the videos. I've seen all types of angles, and it looks really good. Like, these people could be like real photographers and real videographers. Catching that with yo, Roger, what's that? Oh, that's that. What's that? Right before the black brother started going toe to toe with one of the Caucasian brothers, he threw his hat and it instantly turned on the switch like the
Did the
goddamn
Bobby Shmurda. Did the Bobby Shmurda.
I was
like
gonna say he did the John Cena, man.
It was like the goddamn symbol. John Cena, because we got wrestling going on. Y'all remember Bobby Shmurda with the about a week ago.
There was a lot of that. It's a lot of that.
Listen, the audio, because a lot of the video was taken from afar, like they was like higher up, so it was just a lot of real close. We probably heard that very sound that you just played, Byron. That man, I've never seen outside of the Avengers anything like that. My heavens, he threw that goddamn hat, and it's like the culture jumped into action, and they was like, when our black powers combine, we are the
Super
culture.
Negroes.
It was bad. It was real bad. So, say all that to say, the white folks really didn't want the beef that came with messing with a brother at that time in that place, because they jumped on him, and then the culture jumped on them, and it was really, really, really ugly. A lot of people got arrested and detained and all that, but they had what was coming to them, and I don't think that the act of the beating that we saw, anybody could have got that beating if it had happened, if it had laid out like that. But it made it racial because it was white guys jumping on a brother. And of all places, Montgomery, Alabama.
Martin Luther King rolling over in his grave.
Or he might be smiling. I don't know.
No, I think he's smiling.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Black people came together.
I don't know. He might be smiling right now. Oh, well, I know for sure Malcolm X is smiling. I know that for sure. Martin Luther King go either way, but I know for sure Malcolm X is like, God, you goddamn. Well, I think of Denzel Washington. That's why I picture smiling with his glasses on. And I'm like, yeah.
Man, yo, you talk about some WWE, man. The favorite part was the swim up. I told you that was my favorite part, man. The swim up, because you talk about the chair came from nowhere. Where did I didn't see this, but my man was swimming like Michael Phelps to get to help.
The original film, I think he jumped off the boat. whatever they jumped off that boat, the very boat with the lady was, there was a black woman commentating. in that first wildly seen video, I think he jumped off that boat because he was coming from. It's like he was coming from that direction, but my gosh, he he kind of debunked a huge negative
Yes.
stereotype that brother can't swim, and he was out there getting it on his best Michael Phelps impression, getting it, and got out, and proceeded to hand.
Hey Dre, you know he was drinking Hennessy. He probably came out the water dry. He came out the water dry. He's like, I'm good, bro. Let's get to
it. He was ready.
Do it.
No, he came up.
He came out the water dry, ready to fight. How you gonna fight? You probably soaked. You came out ready.
Listen, that was a sight to see. And again,
oh my gosh,
as days went on, the internet only gets worse. I've seen so many different angles, so many different people getting mollywopped. I saw an inside angle from the person with the chair. I was like, wow. There's so much. Excuse me, so much happened, but it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds in the courts. I heard somebody say in the mini video I saw, while the guy was hit, he might have been on his second or third person with the chair hitting, and one of the guys was like, he gonna get a felony. And I just bust out laughing. Because they're probably right. That's assault. That is assault. And the chair has turned into a deadly weapon. But shout out to the culture. Shout out for blackness coming together. I haven't seen a Dr. Umar meme yet, and I probably haven't looked hard enough, but I want to hear what Dr. Umar got to say. I want to hear with all of our black.
He's too busy with 304s. He's too busy with 304s. Yeah, you see. He's with other obligations.
I would like to hear takes from our black prominent figures to see what they think about this. Has Stephen A. said anything?
No, he has not.
No, he's not going to.
He's on vacation.
Even if he wasn't.
No, Stephen A. will talk about it. Actually, if you've been listening to Stephen A.
The podcast. You mean the podcast?
The podcast version. He will slide everyone on his podcast. Yes.
Did our boy Whitlock talk about it yet? Right.
I gotta do now. Whitlock, I gotta get to. I haven't seen his take yet. I gotta watch.
Make sure you drop that in the chat.
I definitely will. I will drop that.
I'm about to say that's Roger's boy.
It's 5-star.
But
he gonna slide.
So anyway, that's my lone goofy of the week. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And those brothers that jumped that one brother are on the wrong end of it because they thought it was sweet. Y'all got to do better. And stop being racist. Because that's what happens.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy.
Well, that is a well-placed way to end.
There's a lot of that being handed out.
World
That's
class.
the perfect way to end episode 403. Dre, what can the people expect for episode 404? We continue these division previews. I think we're going to start, AFC East and NFC South. Correct?
So, yeah, more divisional recap. And we may do another list. If not next week, definitely in a couple weeks we'll do another list. But as we gear towards the NFL regular season, let's get it.
Yes, we will probably talk about maybe some college football as well. There's a lot of conference realignment. A lot of teams. The Pac-12 is pretty much dead. We'll probably throw in some college football because it's almost time for college football. So maybe start to preview that as well. And as we head toward the NFL and college football season, we'll have our college football preview shows, NFL preview shows, Each week you're going to be getting Ravens previews from yours truly. We got preseason week 1. I'll do a preview on that this week. Look for it around Thursday or Friday. Got AEW on Wednesday. Raj, tell the people what we got going on. I'm sorry.
You got a bunch of shit going on, so just hit that subscribe and hit that like button. All right, don't play around with us. The channel is growing. Your boy is actually extremely tired right now, but
Yes.
we're gonna have plenty of stuff for you. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, just hit the bell for notifications, because when you get the notification, that's when you're gonna get that special something. Because I know there's a lot of Orioles fans that want that content, Byron. They've been asking, they've been fiending for it now since the Orioles
Hey,
been
man.
destroying everybody. So
I know nobody on YouTube is doing what we're doing as far
Yeah.
as Orioles. As far as Orioles, I know nobody's doing what we're doing. So make sure y'all tap in. Orioles on first place.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
And get that free that half price Papa John's as well.
Exactly.
Executive producer Andre Melton, senior producer, the captain of the goofy shit, voice of reason. It's Cravante, baby. Big Raj, the meat man, is your official social media producer. God's favorite host here. Only place fellas to give you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
We are all tired, and I understand it was a long weekend, a lot of content out on the channel. It's there for you. Check it out. Shorts, live videos, predictions, previews, all that good stuff, and more to come. Episode 404 next week, live 10 p.m. Same place, same time. Flex on podcast. For your ones up, head to the sports podcast table. We'll continue those NFL previews. We'll be talking some college football and maybe another list as well. For Dre, Cravante, Raj, I'm signing off. Hit the like button if you haven't already on your way out. Vote on the poll. You can super chat us, donate us. Hit that Cash App as well. The Flex on One on all social media. And until next week, y'all, we gone. Peace. Flex on out.
Peace.